Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle. Um, I just realized what a boring room with all no colors, but okay, I have to accept that. Okay, so anyway, this is my art. Okay, so here's a project I did. I was the only deaf in a school full of hearing. Anyway, I was mainstream growing up. I went to Clark School for the Deaf, and then I was mainstream school, and then I went to Gallaudet. I was the only deaf again in my master's program, and that identified me. My identity was deaf. Okay, so I was like, who am I? I have to explain myself. I have to explain my needs. I have to explain everything about me. You know, I had to think of something that would help people understand me better. So I decided to make something that I'd had in my back of my mind since growing up, the ABCs. Can you read my ABCs? It's called. How many letters are in the ABCs? 26, right? But look at that. There's 37 in mine. People always see it and they're like confused. A, B, C, D. What'd you say? What'd you say? They always ask me, or I'm always asking them. So I'm asking you to challenge yourself. A is not the first letter, no. I thought. That's my point. Understand how I feel. Because explaining how I feel when I have to lip read, this is what it is. I had to do something like something with paper, a veil over the face, because not all people are totally visible. I can't always see their lips, so I have to really strain. So this expresses how I feel. Okay, so what the name of this is My First Crush. Well, I wanted to ask people about their first crush. I want to know everything, something easy they could tell me from start to finish, something you remember. But do you see how much I understand how when I'm lip reading? Sometimes I can understand a little bit, but some people, well, I asked my friends, tell me about your first crush. It was a good topic for them to be able to express themselves. I wanted to do something more general, and I put it on my computer, and that was the most painful part for me was actually depending on reading their lips, what they say. I had to stop it and keep going again and again. I had to freeze it. What was that? See it for the first time and again. It helps, but sometimes not. So I made it simple. When I understand what they say, and when I don't understand what they say, I look and then sometimes I miss it. I'm like, what? That happens all the time. Like when you're driving or at the bar in the dark with the lights or the sun shining behind, I can't see your face or it's covered. It's really hard for me to see. It's hard because I feel like this piece of art, growing up, deaf children, and they depend on it. I realized, so this really made people realize and understand. My mom didn't even realize it while I was growing up, and this really hit her. And she was like, now I see. Some things you can understand, but not always fully. So this was a good example of how much we really receive. It's really tough. This is my mom. Okay, so now this one is a focus on my identity. I'm in the hearing world and the deaf world, but you have to realize that they're connected also. Anyway, so for like maybe 3 or 4 years, I took my camera everywhere. I was taking pictures of everything that caught my eye, anything and everything. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, a picture of a stone, some shape, something fun, doesn't matter, many various different things. A lot of pictures I took over the next 3 or 4 years. My camera was always with me. And I looked at all the pictures and I was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So let's see what I found. And now by this time, it was a project for my class. So I was like, okay, I have all these pictures. Why did I take this? What was this for? Now I decided to cut them all in half and mix it all around. I paired things together, like different parts of machines, something in the middle. I continued with more than 500 pictures. Now I have all these stacks of pictures and I didn't know what to do with them, so I just saw and I decided some are mixed up, some matched, some don't. So I was like, I grew up in a hearing school, then I went to the deaf school later, so there's part of me that's hearing, or am I deaf? There's part of me that's that too. So I don't wanted to identify who I am. I have two different personalities. I wish I could split them apart. I have the deaf side of me, and I want to match it. I wish I could separate. Oh yeah, I'm that, but I'm also this too, but I'm this, and I just feel like I'm split. I have two different personalities. So, so that's kind of explains this. Now, whatever the plan. Oh, that's cool. Let me use that. Maybe I'll use that. Looks like a chair that's broken and needs to be fixed. Something. But all those to take away from the pictures realized, oh, This doesn't really match. I need to add something. Okay, so I realized this is really serious, so I needed to add something. So I decided to add a bubble machine. You see it, it's right in the chair. So out of the springs, bubbles are coming. This really helped for me because it was such a serious piece, serious background. Really showed it myself. I'm happy, I smile all the time, so this was a good representation of myself, putting the bubble machine in there. So this is what all the 500 pictures look like. It wasn't easy. Okay, so part of my art, often people label me as a deaf artist, a feminist artist, a number of different things, and I'm just like, I'm just who I am. I am who I am. I'm an artist. I'm many different things. Art is a big part of my life, yes. I've experienced life through art. Art is my way of communicating because my first language, not a lot of people understand my first language, ASL, and when I speak, they can understand me, but it doesn't really sound right. So my language is a visual language. It's the best way for me to communicate. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been more visual. I developed the visual ASL specific, everything from scratch. I made up everything from scratch, all these things. So I had help. I looked around. I was always on top of what's around me, what matched, what didn't match, and I just express myself in ways through that. It helps me. It helps me become who I am today, and show how to express myself and my deaf identity, and help people understand me better. So thank you. Or, oh, so here's another one. Okay, so when I talk about the East and the West, it's about my mainstream, what's overlapping inside of me. Growing up in a deaf residential school, or the Clark Oral School, um, yeah, they were kind of the same, mainstream and hearing school, all these different things while I was a kid. So my whole life I've always felt like a constant struggle was going on inside of me, and things overlapping trying to become one. And that's it. That's me. Thank you.